Hey guys, how's it going? Spinosaurus the King here, and in this video, I'm going to be joined by a special guest. Go ahead, bro. Introduce yourself.
What's good, Brooklanders? It's your girl, Brooklyn.
Oh, that never gets old. That's the
Hey,
best,
what's up,
bro.
everybody? David Church here, and I'm glad to be joining Spinosaurus the King for another video.
Hell yeah. So anyways, guys, in this video, we're going to be talking about our final predictions for Jurassic World Chaos Theory Season 2 before it comes out in a couple weeks. So again, time flies. I can't believe it's already, we're already into Season 2. Season 1 just feels like it just came out yesterday. Wow, time flies.
Exactly. I mean, I'm still processing stuff that happened in Season 1. It's like,
Yeah,
whoa.
Season 1 was sure, there was some dark moments in Season 1 to 5 of Camp Cretaceous, but Chaos Theory, oh my god, they took it to a whole new level of darkness, man.
That's for sure.
True. But again, I like that. Like, again, this is awesome. It's feeling less like a kid show and more like, an adult show. And it'd be cool. Hopefully, I'm not sure if this will happen, but hopefully Jurassic World Rebirth could be rated R, or one day they make a rated R Jurassic movie. Because again, we've been asking for this for years as fans,
Right?
Yeah, I mean, it would be scary. It would probably be a horror movie, but still, like, I think dinosaurs are meant for a horror movie, don't you think?
Oh, yeah. I mean, especially after what we've seen in Season 1 with the Atrociraptors.
Oh, hell yeah. That is for sure. But anyways, so I'll let you start off, bro. Tell us your final predictions for Chaos Theory Season 2 and what you think will happen and what you want to happen and also what you want to see happen in Chaos Theory Season 2.
Well, let me think.
Yeah.
Well, I know we're definitely going to get some cool dinosaur fights. I mean, since the teaser showed that we're going to get Suchomimus versus Stegosaurus, I would hope we could get another sort of fight like that. Like let's say we get Pachyrhinosaurus again versus like a Suchomimus or Baryonyx.
Yeah, that'd be awesome for sure.
Plus, since they're going to be on the boat for part of it, I bet we're going to get a fight between Major the Majungasaurus and another dinosaur.
Most likely, yeah. I mean, like, so far from what I know, it appears that the two main antagonists in terms of carnivores in the show is going to be number one, the Majungasaurus, which apparently isn't there two. There's Major and Minor. I heard there's going to be two Majungasaurus, isn't it?
I've only heard about the one Major. I haven't heard anything about one being called Minor.
True. But I guess, yeah, there's going to be at least one Majungasaurus. So, like, it seems the Majungasaurus and the Suchomimus are going to be the main antagonists, which is amazing because, again, we've been asking to see Suchomimus for years, and we finally got it, for a couple cool scenes in Season 1 where it fought the Carno and just to see Suchomimus in general. But it appears that Suchomimus is going to have a much bigger role in Season 2 than Season 1 because I was kind of disappointed that it didn't have much screen time in Season 1. But hey, now that's why we have Season 2 to see more of it, right, bro?
Oh, you're absolutely right about that. It's going to be great to see it.
For sure, especially seeing it in its, its actual land where it actually lived many years ago. Because again, we know Suchomimus lived in Africa many years ago, which also makes me question: is the Jurassic World 3 Spinosaurus going to return in its natural habitat?
That's something I would love to see. I mean,
Spinosaurus
is also an African dinosaur, just like Suchomimus.
It is. Who knows? We might even get Sarcosuchus and Tyrannosaurus in Africa, because again, we know those two dinosaurs. Well, like, I know Sarcosuchus is a dinosaur, but we know those two creatures lived in Africa too many years ago. Yep,
and we do know that InGen, or at least Masrani, cloned Tyrannosaurus at least. So
that is
we know that.
Yeah, because we saw them in Season 2 or 3 of Camp Cretaceous?
3. That was Season 3.
True, but it was awesome that we saw them for sure.
Oh, and then another thing I predict is that since apparently there's a hippopotamus in Season 2, we're going to see a dinosaur versus hippo fight.
Which is cool. I mean, it would be cool to see a Suchomimus versus hippo fight, but obviously the Suchomimus is going to win because, I mean, it's a giant carnivore versus, a mammal, right? But I'm sure the hippo definitely give it a few bites because we know hippos have a powerful bite force, but I don't think a hippo is strong enough to take out a fully grown Suchomimus.
Yeah, probably not. And besides, remember the Tops card? No, not Tops, but the Captives card that showed a Suchomimus going against a hippo in a zoo? Yep. Maybe we're finally getting that, but only it's in the wild.
True. For sure. But it is cool to see a modern day animal fighting like a dinosaur. That is awesome for sure. I mean, we got a quick hint of that too, and at the end of Dominion, where we saw like the Spinoceratops with the elephants and some other dinosaurs with other real life animals.
Yeah, like the Mosasaurus interacting with the whale pod.
True. Yeah, that was cool too.
Yeah.
For sure. And I'm trying to think. Oh yeah, I do think, like, again, the most mysterious part, which I'm looking forward to the most in Season 2 in terms of like the plot, is it seems we're finally going to find out what exactly Brooklyn's been up to since they last saw her, and also, you know, what she's up to now, and also we're gonna find out, like, you know, apparently Ben also knew that Brooklyn was alive, and that's why Kenji was mad and said, you know, Brooklyn was alive, he didn't tell us. So I think there's gonna be a big plot twist with what Brooklyn's really like. I know we got a quick hint of what she's been up to in season 1, but I feel like in season 2 we're gonna find out fully what she's been up to.
Oh, I agree. And besides, that kind of leads me to a fan theory that Swerve once proposed, that what if Brooklyn is Ben's girlfriend now? Because in season 1, Ben mentioned a couple of times that he had a girlfriend. So
Sure.
what if it's Brooklyn?
It is a good theory, because the thing is, like, you know, in season 1, Ben never told them who his girlfriend was, and there's probably a backstory to why that was, because it's Brooklyn. If he tells them who his girlfriend is, they're going to find out Brooklyn's still alive, which he wasn't ready to tell them that, or maybe he didn't really want to ever tell them that, and then that's why Kenji was so pissed off that he found out that he knew that Brooklyn was alive.
Right?
For sure. Because again, we know the Allosaurus didn't kill Brooklyn. It just bit off her arm.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. But speaking of the Allosaurus, again, that was probably the most disappointing part for me in season 1, is because, like, the Allosaurus, like, again, they confirmed that that's the same Allosaurus from Battle of Big Rock, but yet they have it like 2 or 3 meters smaller than what it actually is. So it's kind of strange how they have the Allosaurus like a full. Again, if that was like a juvenile Allosaurus like Fallen Kingdom, I can understand. But like, they basically, it seems what they did is they took the full Allosaurus design but gave it the size of the juvenile Allosaurus, which is pretty disappointing for me, you know.
Personally, I think it looks a little bigger than the juvenile, but I do agree. It does look small. It does seem smaller. I mean, we saw Big Edie lift that thing up like it was a rag doll.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yes, like, what I mean is it's not as small as the actual juvenile in Fallen Kingdom, but it definitely isn't as big as the one we see in Battle of Big Rock.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
But I really still believe that it is supposed to be the same Allosaurus. I mean, why else would its right eye be blind like that?
True. No, it definitely is the same one. Maybe the reason why it was smaller is simply due to like an error when they were doing the animation, which is why hopefully, the Chaos Theory filmmakers saw the criticism of the Allosaurus being small. Maybe in season 2 they fixed it. I don't know. Hopefully, you know.
Who knows? I mean, since most of this is like outside of the United States and like on a boat in Africa, maybe we're not going to see that same Allosaurus again this season.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It appears the Allosaurus won't be in season 2. The only way I see the Allosaurus appearing is in the flashback with Brooklyn.
Right. That is a good point.
And then I guess Big Edie's also not going to be in season 2 like she was in season 1, because again, she escaped and she's back on the mainland again, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But then, I do think there's a possibility for the Spinosaurus, though, hopefully.
Yeah. You know, speaking of that, we also saw in the trailers and one of the teaser pictures that Kentrosaurus will be in season 2, so maybe one of them is Pierce.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping too. Again, we did see 2. We saw, like, you know, a full-grown Kentrosaurus, and it appears to be a baby Kentrosaurus beside it. So maybe Pierce met a female Kentrosaurus and then they had kids. It's possible, you know.
Yeah, it's totally possible.
For sure. And it is cool that you know, Pierce is coming back, because again, that's another dinosaur from Manticore Island, which also hints more towards, like, again, which, like, I know it's not confirmed that's Pierce, but like, if that is Pierce, that also hints that maybe we'll see more returning dinosaurs from Manticore Island, like the Nodalosaurus, Toro, and the Spinosaurus.
Oh yeah. Plus, that might also mean we'll see the Spinoceratops hybrids again, Rebel and Angel.
Sure. And also to see them fully grown would be cool too. Now, speaking of Tor, because again, we know Tor was a little bit smaller than, like, you know, the Fallen Kingdom Carno, and was a decent amount smaller than the Demon Carno. Maybe it's possible that Tor was, you know, a juvenile or subadult and Camp Cretaceous, and maybe if he returns now he's fully grown, just because, like, he was quite smaller. It's either that, or maybe it's possible he's just a smaller individual Carno.
I'm thinking it's more the latter one. I mean, just because we see that Carnosaurus seem to range in size from that one almost Allosaurus size one in Dominion, you know, the demon one.
True.
And then the one that Rexy takes down in Fallen Kingdom, I would say is like the average sized one.
Yeah, it seems that. I guess because again, the one in Fallen Kingdom was like the middle size, and then the demon and also that green one were like the smaller ones, and then the larger one is the demon one.
Right, that's what I'm thinking.
For sure, but it would just be cool to see Toro coming back. However, there was a leak showing, like, you know, a list of dinosaurs that are rumored to be in season 2, and when I read the list, it said Little Edie, Toro, Pierce, and and also the Demon Carnotaurus. So that's cool. That's true. It would be cool to see Little Edie back, because we know for a fact Little Edie was confirmed to be a sub-adult in season 5. So it would be cool to see her fully grown. You know?
Oh yeah, for sure.
For sure. Or imagine the Demon Carnotaurus appeared too in season 2, and we saw it interacting with Tora. How awesome would that be?
I'd love that.
For sure.
Although it still makes me very disappointed that they didn't make Toro and the Demon Carnotaurus one and the same.
I know. I do wish, because again, originally that was Scott Creamer's plan, but I think for whatever reason it didn't work out. But that would have been cool if they did that.
Oh, so totally true, brother.
For sure. But again, like, I know some people might be questioning this thing. So I'm just thinking, are you worried about the Spinosaurus being ruined? At this point, no. And the reason why is because, again, in Jurassic Park 3, Season 4, Season 5, Evolution 2, what Colin Trevorrow said about it being the most powerful, and then Scott Creamer saying it was the largest tune, and some other things too. Like, based on all this, there's 99.9% chance that they're not going to ruin the Spinosaurus, because I really feel like they wouldn't have put out, went out of the way to put this much effort into making the Spinosaurus being this fulgurant massive size and having, this badass power in Season 4 and 5 and Evolution 2,
I agree. I mean, we saw how much of a powerhouse it was in Seasons 4 and 5, plus Jurassic World Evolution 2, so I don't really have anything to worry about for it being ruined again.
I'm pretty sure, which is a good thing, because again, like, I really don't miss those old days, like 3-4 years ago, when, me, you, and all other fans were constantly worried about them, nerfing or bringing back the Spinosaurus in the bad way. But when they brought it back, they didn't. So that definitely does take away a lot of my worries. So I think we should be good. I'm pretty sure they're not going to ruin it, bro.
Agreed.
Like, nothing's guaranteed, but like, I'd say it's a good 9 out of 10 chance that they're not going to ruin it, and then 1 out of 10 chance they are going to ruin it, which means they'll pretty much guarantee.
Agreed. So
for sure,
I think we're pretty certain that it won't be ruined for this show.
Sure. And at least this way, if it comes back, we don't need to worry about it being nerfed by the mind control again, because as of what we saw in Season 1, the mind control is no longer in the plot. So if Spinosaurus comes back, we can see it at full power, using its arms and going crazy and stuff.
You said it.
And hopefully some water attacks too, because we didn't get to see any Spino water attacks with the fully grown Spinosaurus.
Right.
True. We only got to see the younger Spinosaurus doing water attacks, so it would be cool to see it, doing water attacks fully grown.
Oh yeah.
Because, bro,
who knows? Maybe we'll finally get this in Season 2.
Hell yeah, that would be awesome for sure. For sure.
And then going back to that, I definitely think that if the leak is true and we do see Little Edie, we'll definitely see her as a full-grown one.
Oh, 100%, yeah. And also, it makes, and here's the thing too, in that leak, you know what I noticed? It said, apparently the Buck and Doe are going to appear, and Little Edie. So maybe there's somehow a connection between Buck, Doe, Little Edie, and Big Edie. Because again, there was a theory, like, from some people in the past, that apparently Big Edie's husband is Junior.
Yeah, I heard that theory too.
For sure. Now, if that theory was true, that would be cool to see it, actually happen in Season 2 or 3,
Yeah, I mean, considering that Big Edie was definitely fully grown and in her prime in Seasons 4 and 5 of Camp Cretaceous, which takes place in 2016.
True.
I think it is fair to assume that she was young in the late 90s and therefore was Junior's mate. And consider that Little Edie is still a sub-adult in Seasons 4 and 5.
True.
And
something else is cool too, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, because of that, I don't really think Big Edie was one of the 7 Rexes that InGen originally bred.
True. I'm pretty sure, yeah. I mean, like, the Jurassic 3 T-Rex probably was one of the original 7 Rexes because it was fully grown. But yeah, I'm pretty sure Big Edie, Junior, Little Edie are definitely not one of the original 7 Rexes that were there. Because again, it is confirmed that Big Edie's in her prime, and she's also something else I find really cool about Big Edie too. She's the only Rex in the franchise that matches the size of Rexy in terms of size and strength. All the other Rexes are considered smaller than Rexy, except for Big Edie. Which is why it would be cool to see, Rexy versus Big Edie, and maybe not to the death, but it would be cool to see them fight to see who truly is the stronger Rex. I mean, I personally believe Big Edie is, but
I'm sure it wouldn't be a serious fight. I mean, considering that
they're both Rex.
Rexy didn't get all territorial and violent with the Buck and Doe when she saw him at the end of Dominion. I'm sure she'd probably feel the same way about Big and Little Edie.
for sure. I mean, based off what we saw with their feats, I mean, I'd say strength definitely Big Edie, but durability definitely Rexy. Because again, like it seems that Big Edie's durability kind of lacked. Because again, she was getting quite injured easily by the Spino's jaws and also the Kentosaurus's hits. But however, I'd say strength definitely Big Edie, because the fact that Big Edie was able to pick up a fully grown Spinosaurus while Rexy struggled to push the Giga, we got lifting strength right there to opposite to Big Edie, you know.
True, but don't forget that Rexy's old, so
True,
that
true.
most likely played a factor.
Yeah, there's that possibility too. Yeah. I'd say as of right now, Big Edie is definitely stronger than Rexy, but I guess maybe Rexy when she was younger, then possibly.
Oh, great. Yeah, this was Rexy in Jurassic Park, no doubt. So.
Sure.
Then what else? Oh, also, here's something I'm wondering. Remember, I mean, going back to our talk about the hippo being in season 2.
Yeah.
What if there's a possibility of we'll see more prehistoric mammals, like Cenozoic stuff? Like, we got the saber-toothed cat in season 4 of Camp Cretaceous. What if we see more Ice Age animals in season 2 of Chaos Theory?
Oh, broski, if that's the case, I hope we can see, like, what's the prehistoric lion called again? I forget.
Are you thinking like
a
the cave lion or the American lion?
Yeah, like one of those. Imagine we saw one of those, or we see like a woolly mammoth. That would be awesome.
Oh yeah,
for sure. And if we do see a woolly mammoth, I want to see the Atrociraptor pack going up against the woolly mammoth. That would be an awesome fight.
Oh yeah. Oh, that reminds me of another thing. We see that in like promotional artwork that all 4 Atrociraptors will be in this season. So Ghost, Panthera, Tiger, and Red.
Yep.
So hopefully it'll explain where Red was in season 1.
For sure. But again, like, it's still a mystery if the Spinosaurus is going to show up in season 2 or not. But again, like in season 1, they did say that Manticore Island was fully, and they didn't say partly. They said the words Manticore Island was fully investigated, which means that like whether they took the Spinosaurus off the island or not, they definitely at least had an interaction with the Spinosaurus and saw it.
Oh, well, without a doubt.
True. But if I had to predict, I'm pretty sure there's nothing left on Manticore Island because again, like the fact that we're seeing Kentosaurus, which is possibly pierced, there's leaks saying Little Edie is no longer on Manticore Island. Big Edie was taken off, and same with some other like was Bumpy too. We saw the Green Raptors. I'm pretty sure there's nothing left on Manticore Island. It's just a abandoned place of the past.
Yeah,
that's my prediction.
Most likely.
True. Which means that the Spinosaurus could possibly be in Africa or some part of the mainland, which is my prediction. I do feel like that, like wherever the Spinosaurus is, I feel like it's either on a new island or the mainland.
I'm more in favor of the mainland, unless it's on a different island, because this leads to another thing we can discuss, bro.
Yep.
How do you think Chaos Theory will tie into Jurassic World Rebirth?
So yeah, this is my prediction too. Maybe it's possible in Chaos Theory the Spinosaurus is on the mainland, but then maybe like imagine in the last season of Chaos Theory before Rebirth comes out, the Spinosaurus ends up on the island, and we know Rebirth is probably going to take place on an island since it's in Thailand. So maybe that's how the Spinosaurus ties in. Because again, like there's a lot of hints at the Spinosaurus being in the show. Like for example, like the plot says that the 3 most colossal creatures, including land, air, and sea, hold a drug to hold the key to a drug that benefits mankind. So that automatically confirms right there that it's going to be the Mosasaurus, the Quetzalcoatlus, and the Spinosaurus, because we know that they're both the biggest and strongest of the land, air, and sea.
True. Especially too, since other than T-Rex, Spinosaurus is officially now the largest, especially with Giga and Indominus-Rex being dead.
True. Yeah, the Spinosaurus is just the largest in general. I mean, like Spino is the largest, Indominus is second largest, Giga is third, and then T-Rex is fourth.
Yep.
True. Now the Giga is stronger than Indominus, but the Indominus-Rex is larger in terms of size, it's longer.
Yep, and it's a hybrid, so there's that too.
Sure. For sure. But overall, I do think that there's going to be some which is what I'm hoping for too. Like, okay, I know Camp Cretaceous did somewhat tie into Dominion with the mind control thing where they somewhat used that in Dominion, but other than that, and I think the Biosyn can, there wasn't really any other connections I saw in Dominion other than the Biosyn can and the mind control. So I'm hoping in Chaos Theory to Rebirth, we're going to see not just 2 connections, we're going to see at least 6 or more big connections that really connect these 2 live action and cartoon shows together. You know?
Oh, absolutely. I hope we get more concrete ties than we did with Dominion and Camp Cretaceous.
You know what, bro? You know what they really should do? We should see Darius in live action. That would be the best connection, in my opinion.
Oh, I'd love that.
True.
I know Scott Creamer said in that one interview that the campers wouldn't be in Dominion, so I'm hoping that this will be the case for Rebirth, that we'll finally see like the characters like Darius and Yaz and Kenji in live action.
See, that's I'm hoping we can see all those, and plus maybe it's possible we can see like Big Edie and the full-grown Spinosaurus and Kentrosaurus and Toro in live action too. That would be awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
For sure, and it is possible. We don't know too much about what's going to be in Rebirth, so at this point, anything can be in there. You know?
Exactly.
True. However, the two big hints of the Spinosaurus returning is there's this character holding what appears to be T-Rex speed, from what I've heard, and we know the Spinosaurus is attracted to T-Rex speed based on what Eric said in Jurassic Park 3, and of course, the largest land carnivore, holds the drug that helps benefit mankind.
Oh yeah. So what if that's the twist? Like initially they think it's a T-Rex, but then they learn it's actually Spinosaurus.
That would be a great plot twist in the movie too. Like the character's like, oh no, we're gonna be up against a T-Rex, guys. We gotta be careful. And they're like, oh my god, what is that? It's even worse than T-Rex. It's the Spinosaurus.
If that's what happens, that would be so cool.
Oh yeah, that would be badass. Sure, I would definitely, again, if they actually bring back like the JP3 Spinosaurus in live action. Oh my god, I'm gonna go crazy, bro. I really hope they do.
Me too.
True. They almost brought it back in Dominion to have a three-way fight between the Giga. Like again, apparently what was going to happen in the final battle of Dominion originally, there's a few different rewrites. One of them was going to be the Spinosaurus, Giga, and T-Rex. They all have a three-way fight, and they're all fighting each other. Another one was going to be the Buck and Doe and Rexy versus the Giga, and then the final outcome was Rexy and the Tyrannosaurus fighting the Giga.
Yeah, I remember hearing about that.
Sure. Now, I did hear some people saying that it was going to be the Spino and Rex to team up with the Giga. I actually reread the thing. No, it was just going to be a three-way fight. Because again, it wouldn't make sense for Spinosaurus and T-Rex to team up. Because again, we know the Spinosaurus is literally called the T-Rex killer, so therefore it wouldn't team up with Rex.
Yep. That's right, bro.
Exactly, and we know for a fact that T-Rex would definitely not team up with the Giga. So I'm pretty sure if those three met each other, they would all just fight each other until they're all dead, or one of them gets injured or walks away or whatever.
Yeah, I agree.
So, well, I mean, that's it. We're gonna be realistic, because we know for a fact the Giga and the Spino T-Rex, they would not get along with each other. There's no way.
No way, indeed.
For sure, because again, like the Giga and the Spino T-Rex, they're all apex predators. So if they met, they're gonna be fighting to the death, or until one of them gives up.
Oh, that's for sure.
Definitely. Oh, yeah. Now, in some cases, team-ups make sense, but again, for Spinosaurus and T-Rex, or a Giga and T-Rex teaming up, I don't think that's possible. But I do think it would be more possible for, a Giga to team up with the Indominus, because they have the same DNA, and they can actually communicate,
Right, but then that also would mean, T-Rex and Indominus could team up, because the Indominus has T-Rex DNA, too.
True. I mean, it is possible. I guess the reason why they didn't is maybe it's possible that the T-Rex just doesn't like the Indominus-Rex. Well, maybe the Giga would, because we got to keep in mind the Giga and T-Rex are not the same creatures, right? So maybe it's possible the Giga could have a better relationship with the Indominus-Rex than the T-Rex. I don't know. I'm just predicting.
True. Or the fact that the Indominus was able to dominate the Raptors and also communicate with Toro.
True. Yes, it seems that the Indominus-Rex so far it gets along fine with Velociraptors and also Carnotaurus, but it doesn't get along with its own kind, because when it saw another Indominus-Rex, it killed it, and when it saw a T-Rex, it, I feel like with a T-Rex, maybe she was trying to communicate, but then Rex said no, and that's what caused them to fight.
Makes sense. I mean, usually the Indominus would just go after things without question, but we see that Rexy drew first blood and made the first attack.
It is true. So maybe the Indominus-Rex was trying to communicate with her, and Rexy wasn't having it. That's why they ended up fighting.
Right, exactly.
For sure. But so far, my point is, it seems the Indominus-Rex gets along the best with both Carnotaurus and Velociraptor.
Uh-huh.
Because it didn't kill Toro, right? So therefore, I guess it likes Carnotaurus.
Mm-hmm. But anyway, we should probably get back to Chaos Theory, though.
You're right. So yeah, something else we saw in the trailer too is there was this character wearing the raptor mask. So Who do you think that is? Do you think it's someone like some unique character that we know, or do you think it could be the person who's up to all those new bad things?
Personally, I think that the character in the Raptor mask was Brooklyn, or someone closely associated with her.
For sure.
So,
possible, yeah.
Yeah.
Or couldn't be biased because again, like the thing is, like after I saw season one, originally I thought that season one took place after Dominion, but now things have changed and they retcon that, which again shows the canon is kind of all over the place. But my point is, as of right now, season one, season two takes place before Dominion, which means that Biosyn still is in the picture. So, which as of right now, I feel like Biosyn's up to this, to be honest.
Could be, and I really hope that it shows that the broker is Soyona Santos from Dominion.
For sure. I mean, it kind of makes it less, mysterious now because it takes place before Dominion. Because like originally, I thought this was after Dominion, which made me like wonder, like, oh my god, like Daniel Kahn's not here, Biosyn's not here, Manticore here. Who's up to this?
Exactly.
True. But I guess now, the biggest possibility is it's probably Biosyn.
Mm-hmm.
But again,
yeah,
it is cool to see more
it could be.
Because again, we haven't really seen too much of Biosyn, so maybe Chaos Theory can give us like Biosyn's final plans of doing bad things before Biosyn's over,
Right.
For sure. Which means I guess Louis Doxson might be in season 2.
Yeah, that's possible.
For sure.
Yeah, I mean, we do know that he had connections with Santos based on what we saw in Dominion, so it's also possible that he's involved with this somehow.
That is true. Now, in terms of what dinosaurs are going to appear, from what we know, definitely Gallimimus, Majungasaurus, Suchomimus, Stegosaurus, and I think Tyrannon as well, right?
And I think Dimorphodon too.
Yep, Tyrannon.
Oh, and Brachiosaurus.
Brachiosaurus, Kentrosaurus, and Baryonyx, and what else? Possibly, I mean, there's also some rumor ones. I heard that it's possible that the Ankylosaurus could appear because, I know Bumpy's not in Africa, but they have the egg, right? So maybe the egg hatches and we see a new Ankylosaurus.
I kind of doubt that just because Bumpy gave birth to her egg, like in the second to last episode.
Actually, that is
true.
But
then again, it also depends on how long exactly they're on that boat and how long it takes to get from wherever they are to Africa.
Yeah, that is true, actually, yeah.
But case in point, I doubt that Bumpy's baby would be featured in season 2 unless there's a time jump.
For sure. I think, Spinosaurus is definitely confirmed too. We saw that in the trailer. We saw Brachiosaurus. What else do you see in the trailer? Is that all we saw in the trailers, bro?
I think so.
For sure. But in terms of new species, do you think it's possible we can get any other new species? I've heard, I think it's possible for Maposaurus because again, there was a Chaos Theory Mattel Maposaurus toy, which I know toys won't confirm things, but it's definitely a possibility based off that,
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's certainly possible. Just like how when we first got toys of Tyrannosaurus and Kentrosaurus, we didn't know that they'd actually be appearing in Camp Cretaceous, but they did.
For sure. Now, some other things that are possible too for appearing is definitely the Giganosaurus and also the Ceratosaurus because they were in the captives for Chaos Theory, which means that they're probably going to end up showing up. Now, sadly, the Spino wasn't in those, but since the Giga and the Jurassic 3 Ceratosaurus were, maybe it's possible those two are going to be in season 2. You never know.
Yeah, exactly.
For sure. And maybe Triceratops too, hopefully.
I hope so.
For sure. But man, I really felt bad for that Gallimimus. That was so brutal with them, with the Majungasaurus eating the Gallimimus. But that was sad because the Gallimimus is an innocent dinosaur,
Oh yeah, yeah, that was pretty brutal.
For sure. But hey, that just shows that season 2 is definitely darker than season 1 for sure.
Oh yeah, no doubt about that.
Sure. But man, season 1 didn't just answer the question of Daniel Kahn no longer being up to all the dinosaur bad things of Black Wars happening. It really answered the question when they showed that he died.
Oh, for sure. I mean,
yeah, he's definitely not up to it.
Daniel Kahn's death is one of the most shocking things in all Jurassic.
It was because again, number one, I didn't expect him to appear in Chaos Theory, and number two, I didn't think that they were going to kill him off. That was probably the biggest shock in the whole show. But it was really cool, well written how they did it, But it was kind of sad though, because again, I understand he was, did a lot of criminal things, but again, the way he sacrificed his own himself for his son to show that like he's redeemed himself. It was pretty sad, to be honest.
Right.
True. But at least he still saved his son, which is nice of him,
Oh, for sure.
True. But I don't think the Allosaurus is going to appear since this is no longer on the same area as season 1. I think it's just going to appear in the flashback. But I do think it's possible we'll see, like, what else? Spinosaurus? Probably not, because it's not in the same area.
Yeah, I don't know either.
True.
Right now,
it would be nice to see it again. True. I mean, it was cool to see in season 1. It would be cool to see it again in season 2, but I don't think it's possible, though, because it's not going to take place in the same place,
Mm-hmm. There's some...
But whether... True. Now, the Spinosaurus, I'd say... What do you think of the chance of the Spinosaurus being in season 2 are?
I'd say currently it's 50-50.
True. I mean, like, I remember before I saw season 1, I said the chance of the Spinosaurus being in season 1 were like 40%. I'm going to bump it up to about 50-50 now, because I do think it's slightly more possible now, because again, we know Manticore Island's fully investigated, and now we saw possibly Pierce coming back, which means that maybe there's other Manticore Island dinosaurs. Like, here's the thing, I think it's a 50 to 60% chance it'll appear in season 2, and maybe a 60 to 70% chance in season 3. That's my prediction.
I think that's a fair prediction indeed.
Yeah, like how many seasons are confirmed? 3 or 4?
I think 3 at least. I think they are doing another season after season 2.
Sure. Well, it's at least 3. I don't know if it's 4, but I know for a fact it's at least 3. I remember them confirming that.
Mm-hmm.
But here's my take. If the Spinosaurus is not in season 2, guarantee season 3, and then it leads after Rebirth. That's what I'm hoping for,
Agreed.
Or imagine this: the Spinosaurus has a cameo in season 2, and then has a big role again in season 3, and also a big role in Rebirth.
Oh yeah.
That would be awesome for sure, bro.
Yeah, I think as far as officially confirmed for Rebirth, Parasaurolophus, Baryonyx, Velociraptor, and T-Rex, I think, are officially confirmed.
For sure. Yeah, like, unfortunately, I wouldn't. It's like, I know they said the 3 most colossal, but I guess that doesn't fully confirm that we're going to see the Mosa, Quetzal, and Spino, but it definitely hints at it for sure,
Agreed. But also, I really sincerely hope that if Spinosaurus does come back for Rebirth, it's not a more scientifically accurate one, because that would just break that would just break the canon.
Yeah, I do agree, because again, like, as of right now, we know that like from what we heard, especially from what Jack Ewan said, the Jurassic 3 Spinosaurus is accurate for the franchise, while the real life 2020 Spinosaurus doesn't exist within the Jurassic franchise. Because like, if they did show the scientifically accurate Spinosaurus in the Jurassic franchise, that would automatically have to confirm the JP3 one's a hybrid,
Exactly.
For sure. But yeah, I do hope they bring back the actual JB3 Spinosaurus, because it would be cool to see him again, but fully grown and see him at his full power. I don't think we're going to get another... What do you think the possibility of a rematch happening again in Rebirth or in Season 2? I think it's probably really small. I don't think another rematch is going to
happen. I think Season 5 of Camp Cretaceous pretty much cemented that as not happening again.
True. Which is a good thing, because again, like, like, the thing is, like for years, fans have been asking for a rematch, which, boom, we got it in Season 5. So if they're going to still ask for more rematches, then they're just milking it at that point, They're just beating a dead horse.
Exactly.
Yeah, man. Like, one rematch is enough. We don't need to see 1,000 rematches,
Right?
For sure. So I do think it's a pretty mid to high possibility of the Spino coming back, but I think the chances of another rematch happening probably slim to nothing.
I agree. I don't think a rematch is happening again anytime soon officially.
Which is a good thing, because again, like, it does, the Spinosaurus versus T-Rex rematch is very controversial, and it probably would spark up a lot of drama again. So it's probably best that, for the sake of the community not fighting, they don't have another rematch. To be honest.
Agreed.
Like I personally don't mind the rematch if it happens again or not, as long as they do it with no Potimer, where, like, obviously the Spinosaurus wins. But again, I just think it's best to avoid it, because it's going to spark up a lot of drama probably with a lot of people,
Mm-hmm.
And again, we already got the rematch. We don't need 1,000 rematches,
Exactly.
Like, here's the thing. In my opinion, if the Spinosaurus comes back, we should see it fight something else. Like, fight new dinosaurs. Like, I don't want to just keep on seeing it only fight T-Rex,
Mm-hmm.
Like, again, we saw it fight raptors, we saw it fight the Kentosaurus, we saw it fight a T-Rex, so it'd be cool to see it fight something else. Like, what if it fights, like, Like, I mean, it would be cool to see a fight the Indominus, the Giga, or like something like that. But again, that's impossible because the Indominus-Rex is dead, never coming back in. I don't think the Giga will come back. But like, actually, with the Giga, okay, the Giga versus Spino still has some possibility because again, his theory is before Dominion, but it's still, I don't know, we'll see. But definitely not the Indominus. So
Yeah, definitely not Indominus.
for sure. But again, Spino versus Giga, I think the chances of that happening is in either season 2 or 3. I still think it's highly unlikely. I think Spino appearing is likely, but Spino versus Giga happening, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, still it's hard to say right now. It's still up in the air.
Sure. I'd say it's a low chance of happening. While the Spinosaurus appearing is probably a mid chance, mid to high.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. But we all know, of course, the Spinosaurus is going to be the Giga for sure. But it would be cool if they have that. There's no plot armor. But like, I still think that like it would be a cool fight to see. But I think something tells me it's not going to happen though.
Yeah, I don't think another rematch between T-Rex and Spino is going to happen again.
Sure. Or no, like what I'm trying to say is like, do you think a Spino versus Giga fight would happen? Or do you think that's a low chance too?
Well, again, I don't know officially, just because, as far as we're aware, only one Giga is known, and it lives in the Dolomites in Italy. Whereas officially now, we don't know where the Spinosaurus is.
For sure. Or even if or even if it's still alive. I mean, I think it's still alive. I mean, it was never confirmed dead after Camp Cretaceous, right?
Right, exactly.
So I guess like again, the Spinosaurus being dead, alive. At this point, it's unknown, you know, because they never confirmed it dead or alive, you know.
Right. So I think it's likely it's still alive. I mean, I don't know why they wouldn't have it not be alive, you know?
For sure, because I mean, it's not. It's still kind of. It's still, you know. It's not in, in a super prime, but it's still too young to die. So it wouldn't die of old age just yet. Plus, I don't see if any dinosaurs left or alive that can beat it. You know, like for example, like the Indominus-Rex can't beat it, and even if it could, the Indominus-Rex is no longer here. The Giga's not in the same area. The Ultimasaurus doesn't exist. The only way the Spinosaurus could, die to something that exists in the franchise as of right now is if it's like a giant pack of like 6, 7 T-Rexes, or if the Mosasaurus gets a hold of it.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think the Spino would be near the Mosasaurus, to be honest. I'm pretty sure they're in different areas.
Agreed.
Which means that the Spinosaurus most likely is still alive. I'm pretty sure it's still alive.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
Yeah. Which means that if it's alive, why not have it back, It doesn't make sense to have it alive and not bring it back,
Agreed.
Sure. Which is why it was kind of frustrating for years that it took them so long to bring back the JP3 Spino, because again, it didn't die in JP3, so that's why they should have brought it back sooner,
Right.
But I'm just glad they finally brought it back overall.
Same.
For sure. But I'm trying to think what else. Oh yeah, in terms of dinosaur fights in season 2, that I personally would love to see. I mean, it would be awesome to see Spino versus Giga, or with of course Spinosaurus winning. It would also be cool to see the Majungasaurus versus the Suchomimus, since they're both there, or the maybe the Sinoceratops versus like, I don't know, like, what do you think? Sinoceratops versus what?
I'm not sure. Oh, how about Majungasaurus versus Carnotaurus?
Okay, that would be badass. If there's gonna be a Carnotaurus in season 2, whether it's Toro or the Demon of the Green One, I want to see it by the Majungasaurus for sure, because they're both Velosaurus,
yep,
right?
They're
so
both part of the same family.
For sure. Sure, yeah. It would be cool to see that, or even seeing like if the Beckel-Spinax is in season 2. I think Majungasaurus versus Beckel-Spinax is a very fair matchup because they're both very similar in size and strength, right? So it's an even matchup.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's what I want to see. Like, if they're like the next dinosaur battles we get in season 2 and 3 and Rebirth, I want to see more even matchups. Because like it seems that a lot of these times they're not doing even matchups. Like again, the Indom versus the T-Rex wasn't fair. The Spino versus T-Rex wasn't fair. Giga versus T-Rex wasn't really fair. And what else? T-Rex versus Carnotaurus. Like these are not fair matchups.
Mm-hmm.
Like something of a more fair matchup is like Spino versus Giga, or even Indom versus Spino, or what else is a fair matchup? Or Carnotaurus versus Allosaurus instead of Carnotaurus versus T-Rex. Like you see what I mean? Like things that are like not exactly 50-50, but closer to 50-50 rather than like 90-10.
Right, you speak the truth on that.
Yeah, don't get me wrong, it still is cool to see those kind of unfair fights, but I just think fair fights is better because it makes it more suspenseful and like, oh my god, who's gonna win or what's gonna happen, you know?
Hmm.
For sure. But that's my whole. I'm hoping in season 2 we get more even matchups, you know?
Yeah, let's hope.
For sure. And in terms of new dinosaurs, Majungasaurus is the best pick. Because again, Majungasaurus was part of the DNA of the Indominus-Rex, so it makes sense that they're going to show it in the franchise. And I think another one
Oh,
that'd be
that's
awesome
true.
to see too eventually is Metricanthosaurus, because Metricanthosaurus is canon within the franchise. And yes, I know it's extinct, but maybe it's possible they recloned it. You know?
Well, we'll see. I mean, anything's possible nowadays.
For sure. But overall, season 2 seems to be more like dark than season 1. It seems to be more suspicious that we're gonna see a good chunk of it on the boat, and also a good chunk of it in Africa, and then probably at the end of season 2, there'll be a cliffhanger that leads to season 3. Because I find the cliffhangers are always cool to see, you know,
Agreed. I
because
mean,
they
there's
always
no doubt it's going to end in a cliffhanger if that's the case.
for sure. Well, yeah, season 2 is probably gonna end up with a cliffhanger to end up to season 3, and then hopefully. If season 3 is the last season, it's going to end in a cliffhanger that it's going to be explored in Dominion. I was sorry, Rebirth. I mean,
Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
but other than that, what else can you think of for Chaos Theory Season 2? Because there's probably a couple more things that we can come up with.
Well, maybe some other Camp Cretaceous characters may come back, like Dr. Turner from seasons 4 and 5. I mean, especially if we got Manticore dinosaurs to deal with.
For sure. Hopefully she comes back, because again, she was, like in charge of like handling the Manticore dinosaurs. And also, it would be cool to see, Dave and Roxy come back too.
Yeah, absolutely.
For sure. Or something else that would be cool too is like, what if we got more of like the actual live action characters appearing in the show? Like imagine Owen Grady and Claire Dearing, or Alan Grant and Ian Malcolm, or Ellie Sadler, or even Billy Brennan. Like
absolutely.
yeah, don't get me wrong, it is cool that we got Doctor Wu in the show, but but I personally think it would be even more cool if we could see like other legendary characters be in the show too. You know.
Or don't forget that we got Dachshund in season 5 of Camp Cretaceous.
For sure. Or imagine some older cast characters came back in Rebirth or Chaos Theory Season 2. Like imagine we saw the Kirbys or Billy Brennan, Sarah Hardy, and Nick Cohen. Like that would be awesome.
You know, I'm kind of with Clayton Fioriti on this, in that I really, really do hope in some way, shape, or form they get Dr. Malcolm back for Rebirth.
True.
But as far as Chaos Theory goes, I mean, just because it's called Chaos Theory, I think if anyone from the Legacy casting should come back for that show, it should definitely be Malcolm.
Oh, 100%. Especially because, again, like, Chaos Theory was his word, so, like, I think he'd be the best one to bring back for sure for that.
Exactly.
For sure. Now, like, I know, like, it's said that the original cast won't be in Rebirth, like, because, again, at this point, Sam Neill's getting kind of old.
Right? Yes. So, he is getting old, but it'd be easier for him to do a voice. You there, bro?
Hear me? Or...
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm sorry, but that my friend called, even though I told him not to. But anyways, what I was trying to say is that, like, Sam Neill's getting kind of older now. Like, he probably struggled with Dominion. So, like, but I do think it would be cool if he came back in Rebirth, not for a big role again, because he's getting old now, but like just for a cameo,
Right. Or if he were to do a voice appearance, or if like he made an appearance in Chaos Theory, I'm sure it'd be easier for him to like sit down in a studio to like record a voice than it would for him to actually physically be on set for a Rebirth.
See, that's what I'm hoping, because again, like I understand he's getting older now, so it would be cool if he can at least give his voice out again,
Right. I mean, Sam Neill did reprise his role for Jurassic World Evolution for the Return to Jurassic Park expansion pack, so
that is true.
Why not, right?
For sure, brother.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm trying to think.
Yeah, is there anything else?
Okay, sure. So what else are my predictions? So, but yeah, season 2, I think it's going to mainly focus around Brooklyn and which is and like all the mystery around her. It's going to obviously focus on the Majungasaurus as being the big the big bad new dinosaur in the show, which is awesome. And of course, Suchomimus is also being there too. I think it's also going to focus on some some questions that we had that have been mystery for a long time within the franchise.
Oh, for sure. We're definitely gonna learn some. Hopefully, it'll dive more into how Brooklyn broke away from the rest of the campers and see why she turned to like doing this shady money stuff with Daniel Kahn.
Yeah, because that's the thing. Like when I saw that, it gave me the impression that Brooklyn was on his side. I was thinking, like, was she like part of like Manticore and doing all the bad things with the dinosaurs, or maybe she'll explain her side of the story and the backstory behind that? Because like it got me thinking, like, oh my god, was Brooklyn like like because again I had a theory and also a suspicion that Brooklyn was kind of up to no good. Because again, like, I wouldn't call her a villain, but again, she's always giving me this vibe that she's up to something,
Right. Even
like,
back
I don't know, like,
he was like just a kid being a superstar.
yeah. Because even like in season 1 when she was on the computer, she was like trying to spy on Doctor Wu's stuff. Maybe it's possible she was trying to gather information from Wu to use it for with Daniel Kahn.
Mm-hmm. But I'm sure. But then again, I'm sure this was before. I mean, I'm guessing that when she was looking through Wu's computer, this was before she knew about Daniel Kahn being the head of Manticore. So
yeah, that's possible. Yeah.
Sammy, on the other hand, there's that because she was spying for Manticore.
Yeah, that's true. But either way, I'm pretty sure season 2 we're gonna find out more about like Brooklyn, and also more about like why she's been up to what she's been up to, and like other than that, I can't really think of too much else for season 2. What do you think? Do you think we covered everything about season 2 in terms of like what we know so far about it, and also our predictions and all that?
I think we did.
True. But either way, I'm really excited. It seems to be like it seems like it's going to be more awesome than season 1, hopefully. But we'll have to wait and see in a couple weeks.
Oh yeah, 2 weeks, people, just 2 weeks.
Yeah, 2 weeks. Like we'll like season 1 was released when in April.
May actually.
Or sorry. So yeah, May. We go from May up until October. Wow, oh my god, time flies. But at least the wait's finally over,
Exactly.
True. Hopefully the wait for season 3 won't be as long as it was from season 1 to 2, if we're lucky.
Yeah, I'm hoping.
True. But if it is, then I guess we're not going to see season 3 for at least, I don't know, what would that be, 4 months, 5 months?
I'm guessing at least 4 months, just because that seems to be a pattern. That's how it was in the first few seasons of Camp Cretaceous, because Camp Cretaceous was released in September 2020. Then season 2 came in January 21. And then
True.
May 2021 was when season 3 was.
Yeah, that's true. So I guess that, like, if we're getting it in October, then I guess season 3 would be November, December, January. Probably, let's see.
February, I would guess.
Yeah, it'd probably be like towards the middle to end of February, maybe March at the absolute latest.
Makes sense. Although considering that December 2021 was when we got season 4 of Camp Cretaceous, and that's a very big gap in comparison. I hope we don't wait that long.
True. I mean, it would be nice if we got it in like January, but.
Mm-hmm.
But either way, I'm sure time will go by fast after season 2. To be honest, because time just seems to keep going by faster and faster nowadays, bro.
That's true.
Definitely. What about hybrids? Do you think it's possible we'll get any hybrids in season 2, or do you think the hybrid thing is done? The only thing that we might get is the Spinosaurus fully grown.
Yeah, that's my best guess.
True.
But other than them, I'm not so sure about hybrids. Because I know that Colin Trevorrow had said that after Fallen Kingdom, hybrids wouldn't be a thing.
True. Yeah, that is true. However, if they did, let's just say they changed their mind and they did bring hybrids. 2 hybrids I would really love to see in season 2 if they bring back hybrids is the Spinoraptor and the Ultimasaurus. That would be badass.
Mm-hmm.
But sadly, I don't think that we're ever going to see those 2, which kind of sucks because I think the Ultimasaurus and Spinoraptor would be 2 scary hybrids to see.
Uh-huh. Agreed.
For sure. But yeah, other than that, I guess that's everything. But like, anyways, guys, we hope you all enjoyed this video. Tell us what you guys hope to see in season 2. Do you think the Spinosaurus is going to appear? What do you think its role is going to be? What other dinosaurs do you think are going to be in this show? And like, what do you think like what do you think is going to be explained with Brooklyn? And what do you think overall is going to happen in the show?
And do you think they're going to reunite with Brooklyn officially?
For sure. See, that's the mystery part too. Like, I actually wonder. Like here's the thing. I do think the questions of Brooklyn will be answered. But here's my theory. Maybe season 3 is when they reunite with her. However, season 2 is when they find out what she's been up to and find out that she's alive, and then they actually reunite with her in season 3.
That could be, but we still have to wait. So we will just have to see how it plays out.
True. But anyways, guys, so in a couple of weeks, me and Dave we're both going to watch KS3 season 2, and then after we watch it, we're going to be making a review on it to share our thoughts on what we liked and disliked with the show, and also see how many of our predictions we got from this video right for when season 2 actually drops.
Yep.
For sure.
And as always, bro, thanks for having me on board for this video.
Yeah, of course, bro. Anytime. Looking forward to future collabs, bro. Especially, like, we definitely got to do our final predictions on Jurassic Rebirth before it comes out. That's for sure.
Oh, yeah.
True. I mean, that won't be for a while, but I'm looking forward to it when that day comes. And
yeah,
of course,
season
3 too. True.
All right. Well, it's been fun. Thanks for the invite, and hope you all enjoyed this video.
All right, bro. Take care.
Before I end this video, I want to thank all my fans who are also my friends who continue watching my videos. You guys are the best. I appreciate all the support my fans are giving me. I love all my fans. If you are new to the channel and you enjoyed this video, then make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on all notifications so you're alerted for my next video on YouTube. Leave a like, post a friendly comment, and share my videos with everyone you know. I also hope you guys can consider joining my Patreon for amazing extra content and to support me. I have some amazing deals for extra content on my Patreon, so be sure to check it out. The link to my Patreon is in the description below. Each Patreon tier has a list of all the benefits you will receive if you join, and don't forget to follow me on Instagram for extra content there as well. And until my next video, have a great day and take care, everyone.